Gordon, I got another question for you again. I know that more and more new gong players to this gong playing family. That's very good. Now we can find hundreds gong players in one country, right? Maybe thousands in US, in Europe, thousands gong players. That's very good. Every year got more and more new gong players. But one question is, can you tell us more specific, what's the major key point for the new gong player to remember, or the tips or the advice for new gong player? But before that, please subscribe our YouTube channel because we have many videos. Every week give you a new video, and press the notification bell and give us a thumb up. Yes?
Well, I don't think this video is going to be terribly long. And the tips that I typically give to new gong players last for the best part typically of a 6-day training. So it's very difficult to concertina all that information into just a short video.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rebound the question back to you and say, and to give me an idea of what you found particularly challenging, if you think back when you started playing the gong, or also perhaps what you feel as though, because you've seen many new gong players, students coming through, what you felt they were struggling with in particular.
I think the key issue for the new gong player, I say me, because years ago, before I met you, although I've been trained by many different teachers, Kundalini gong players and very good gong players, but I got a very key issue is I play very loud because I thought, gong should be very loud, very So I know this is a key issue for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this business of loudness is actually
how loud
is a tricky issue for
new gong players.
New gong players.
Yeah.
My experience is that there can easily be for inexperienced players, they can tend to play too loud, or they can be over timid and play too quietly.
Yeah.
So what's the solution?
Yeah. How do we know? Because do you remember many students also ask us, how do I know this is loud enough or not too too timid?
Part of this is great. You get better at this in time, but always what I try and remind beginners to do is because they get so wrapped up in the rationale of, am I holding the mallets correctly? Am I standing in the right place? And they're asking themselves lots of questions all the time. And I think this can be, they're not feeling what's going on. And this is a relationship you build up between yourself and the gong, and it's a conversation, if you like, between you and the gong. The gong is sitting there, looking beautiful, looking full of promise, if you like, and you're standing there with a mallet, and nothing is going to happen until you actually
strike it or play it,
sound it. I mean, again, we're careful the kind of word we use. Hit the gong, bang the gong,
many people like to use that. I know.
Hammer the gong. I mean, these are very violent terms, and I prefer sound the gong. It's my favourite term. Play the gong is good. I'm not so good at strike or hit or bang.
Back to the
But
point.
anyway, the thing that I emphasise to beginners and even more advanced players is to enhance their listening ability. This is absolutely key. If you're really listening and really hearing to the impact of what you're doing, what you're trying to do is we have this lovely term, we're getting the gong to speak, first of all. Now, when we speak is a great word to use because we're so used to if somebody's talking to us in a very loud, aggressive manner, we don't like it.
No.
You know, it turns us off. We're not interested. This loud, argumentative, rude,
very loud
person.
before.
So it's as if you were like shouting at somebody.
Very loud, yeah.
Hello, I'm Ealing and I'm here playing the gong. By the same token, if you're very timid and hello, I'm Gordon and I'm very pleased to meet you, know, nobody's going to be interested because they can't even hear you. So actually, that's a very good way of kind of how
can we know?
How do you
know?
know?
I'm just beginner. How do I don't have a benchmark.
How do we know how to speak to somebody?
Gong is so big. I have the 38, 36 gongs should play loud, is it?
One of the things about this that I'm going to use this example of speaking because we allow the gong to speak when we're playing the gong is that it's one thing to be used to talking to somebody like I'm talking to you, standing next to you, and we're having a conversation. And I'm not going to talk too loud or too quietly because I've learned over many, experiences of talking.
Very loud for me.
Well, I'm also talking to the video camera. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, we know that this is different to like public speaking when you're stood in front of 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 people.
If they play for the 40 people, 60 people.
So we have to learn how to project out to that. So that is a point about making the gong speak, and it's different if you're in a small room playing for 2 or 3 people. What's loud and what's appropriate then is different to if you're in a big room with 40, 50 people. And the beginners tend to play in only small rooms with a small group, so that's a good starting point. But as I say, getting back to this, thinking about how would I speak, what's an appropriate level of having a conversation with 2 or 3 people in a small room, well, that's a good starting point. And then this business about listening and enhancing your listening is also very important.
That's a very big issue.
It's a very big issue, but it's still very important.
We will have another video talking about how to enhance the listening. It's too abstract. It's very difficult to understand. But the second issue for many new gong players they got is they are, like you say, they're always thinking,
they're thinking too much.
What stroke I'm going to play, I have a roll, and after roll, is a susami, or is a sliding the door,
Indeed, and the other thing that happens when, and I can remember this back from personal experience, when I was started to play the gongs some years back now, getting lost in the sound of the bigger gongs. The gong sound is so powerful that if you're not prepared for it and properly grounded and kind of standing your ground, there's this very peculiar balance between imposing yourself on the gong and then playing too loud and it sounding very brash and too noisy, and getting lost where the sound of the gong just envelops you and you're kind of off with the fairies and kind of can't control what's going on.
That's another issue I didn't ask. But, my question is, many people thinking, what's going on next? Always thinking, I'm playing the role, and then what happened next? I should play. Should I change my lay, or should I,
So we have this, the other difficult thing, and the thing that we have to learn, none of these things necessarily come easily. Some of them are more natural for some people than others. If you've got a musical background, very often it can help. If you've got a therapeutic background, actually it can help, because if you're thinking, if you come from, say, for example, a massage background, then there's different massage techniques. Now, if you're thinking too much about the massage technique, you're not really doing the massage properly because you're not in the flow of it. It's the same thing. The balance between the left brain and the right brain, and the thinking and the feeling, and the rationale and the intuition, the kind of being aware of the flow between you and the people you're playing to and everything. These things are really important. As I say, they can come more naturally and easily to others. But the thing that we can do with beginners is to encourage them to relax and not to think it too much. Very often that can be a problem. It can sometimes be a problem the other way around, where people will say, and we laugh about this, but it's actually a serious thing, oh, I'm divinely inspired, I'm in touch with the universal energy, I don't need to think or learn anything because, you know, God universe will show me the way, and so what we hear is this kind of noisy racket going on.
They are not really listening.
And this can be a big issue that we have to remind people that they're not. That however divinely inspired they are, then they do actually need to be grounded and centered and be aware of what they're doing as well.
Yeah. And what else you have advice for the new gong player?
Well, that's
before we go?
Yes. That's the first few minutes of my 6-day induction training course. So, yeah, I mean...
come to our training.
Okay. I mean, I think this business that I was talking about there's this lovely what I will actually divulge from people who haven't been to any of my training is this idea this idea of you've got the gong and you've got you and you've got to get a balance right between so that the gong isn't dominating you, so that you're not actually present, and so being grounded and centered is really, really important. So I would say that, and establishing this rapport with the gong, so that there's a kind of a balance between yourself and the gong, is actually also really important.
I think all these tips is not only reply to the gong player, to all the sound therapy, like singing bowl, like tuning fork.
Oh,
right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even other therapies, you know. I mean, I was talking about massage, but I mean, you could think of many other things. You know, somebody who's new to Reiki healing, if they're thinking too much about what they're doing, they're not doing it properly, I would say.
Thank you very much. We got more video, more content to share with you. Please remember, subscribe and press the bell. We see you next time.
Bye for now.